audience who's watching this video. My warmest greeting to all of you. Today, I'll be discussing about aging population. We see elderly everywhere, when we're traveling on bus or walking along the streets. We all see them, walking with their grandchildren or sweeping the floor or pushing a trolley with huge cupboards. According to a recent figure from the Department of Statistics of Singapore, 11.8% of Singapore population are elderly people. And the reason for this outstanding percentage of elderly living in Singapore is because of the better healthcare facilities offered in Singapore compared to other countries. The other reason is that Singaporeans have longer life expectancy.
Aging population is a growing concern in Singapore. This is because huge resources and expertise are needed to support their livelihood. They are our pioneer citizens who have put in so much of effort in shaping the wealth of Singapore. The government has understood the value of our pioneer citizens. In a way to show their dignity towards our senior citizens, the government came out with numerous efforts in helping them to cope with the high cost of living, such as extending the employment opportunities for them.
Money is always an issue to the younger and the older generation. The government has realized the high cost of living in Singapore. Hence, they came out with a financial support to ease the elderly's burden on meeting their medical expenses like ElderShield and MediShield.
In my research, I'm going to look into the level of satisfactory that an elderly has with regards to the government budgetary efforts for them. After coming with a research proposal, I went to collect my data through surveys and interviews.
Before looking for respondents, I came out with my survey questions. These questions will lead to my findings in my research. Now, it's time for me to look for respondents. On 2nd November at around 5 p.m., I went to the Yishun Library situated at level 4 of North Point Mall. In particular, I went to the interactive zone where many elderly people who spend their evening in knowing the current affairs of Singapore. Elderly people who age between 60 and 75 years old were surveyed. The Singapore government has provided employment opportunities to many elderly people. From the results, 75% of respondents still working after the retirement age. These respondents were between the age of 60 and 70 years old. Moreover, when they were asked to rate their frequency of visiting the doctor from the scale of 1, not often, to 3, very often, nearly 80% of them rated 2, which means they're probably visiting the doctor once in 2 to 3 months. On whole, most of the senior citizens are aware of the MediSave and ElderShield schemes, and they are satisfied with the government efforts. With my findings, I'm able to analyze my data. After conceptualizing, I found out that the social rank is considered vital in Singapore. Most of the elderly wants to be self-dependent with their own expenses. Hence, both Asian and Western values exist in Singapore today.
By providing financial assistance, it is clear for us to conclude that the nation is gracing the senior citizens for their effort in structuring Singapore. My research has showed the psychological view of fewer elderly in Singapore. The government has been successful in their financial assistance scheme as most of their elderly uses them. Moreover, from my conceptualizing knowledge in this research, I can safely say that both Asian values and Western values contradict in Singapore. As a result, it enables both young and too old to live harmoniously together. Even though Singapore has a high cost of living, with the substantial effort from the government, it eases the burden to many Singaporeans. On whole, Singapore government has the ability to translate the problem of aging population into a resolution at serving their needs of Singapore.